All right, cool. We are live. Market is open. Weekend is over. Let's see where we can catch today. All right. Let's take a look at this news forecast. So so we have 10 a.m. red news here. I'll drop the news layout here. So pretty chill morning. I will be waiting for the news to drop so that we don't get caught up in a pre-market fake out. Market looks pretty strong. Really nice transition here. Price starting to flip bullish over here, but with so much downside, you'd probably be better off just waiting for a sell, right? And every time price offers this overextension, it's amazing, bro. I feel like every single trade this year has been the same type of trade. An overextension into bearish territory or an overextension into bullish territory. All right. So when I see price start to run like it wants to take off to the moon, I immediately look to my left and I say, where is price going to stall? And you'll find a few decent areas of interest. We'll go through that. But here is the news profile for today. So we have this 10 a.m. ISM manufacturing PMI, which typically brings decent volume. And that's going to be pretty much the highlight of the news on Forex Factory. So if we're patient, we should be able to catch some good volume right after 10 a.m. and go from there. Let's highlight some levels here on the higher time frame. Let's take a look at what's actually going on here. So really, really nice move here. You see price on the weekly chart. Last week, we push higher, take out all these weekly highs, all right? Fail to take out all-time high. So you have this SMT off of all-time highs. ES breaks the high twice. NASDAQ doesn't get close. Bearish indication, right? And then immediately after taking that high, price trades down to sweep out these previous lows here. So we took out last week's low, and now we're pushing back above this EMA. But keep in mind, these bearish candles are pretty much giving you a clean area for shorts. You have this up close candle here on the weekly. The moment we closed underneath it, right? Notice how price was unable to get back to that extent. Over here, we have this up close candle. We end up giving another strong up close candle. But now that we've broken these lows here from Monday, January 5th, you see price try to close above it, fail. Now we're wicking through the low. This is your range here. Price is trading in between Monday, January 5th, the high and the low. So as long as price stays within here, I'll be looking for shorts at the highs and then buys at the lows. Very simple. Let's go to the daily. Look at these candle structures. Daily chart. All right. So after the SMT, how did price respond? Price responded by driving lower from this up close candle here. So if you look closely, the high of the week was put in on Wednesday last week. This is where I will be looking for price to reject once again. And then over here, the low, where's the last down close candle? The last down close candle was here. So this is a beautiful area of interest for buys as long as you can get some good bullish structure. And then this is a great area of interest for shorts as long as you can get a good sell profile, right? On the lower time frame. So those are very clean areas of interest. Don't need the outline here, buddy. at all. Really nice there. Really nice there. And over here, same thing. Where's that last up close candle? You can see price pretty much working this zone here. Take the high, close right back in it. Another sweep of the high, close right back into it. Now we're starting to break that range and go lower. So that'll be a clean area plus here. So the range is starting to be condensed. You're going to see a breakout soon, right? Very, very soon. You should see a breakout. But this is the same type of profile, right? Look at this. You could say last week where we took a lot of clean trades. Up here, you want to be looking for shorts. You catch some really nice shorts. And then down here, off of this last down close candle here, you catch a really nice buy. If you were trading this zone right here whenever price drove into it. Not sure what time it actually drove into it, but yeah. And then now you see price pretending to be so bullish. Now let's go down to the 4 hour and see exactly what price has on the 4 hour in between these daily zones. So you're gonna see very clearly that wow, we are pushing back into this zone here where we have this up close candle, right? Fun fact, if you guys are new to trading or maybe you just haven't noticed it over the years, but almost every move starts with the opposing candle, right? So at a bottom, you should see a move generate a down close candle before going higher. So this is your resistance right here. The down close candle becomes resistance, right? You'll notice price will get above it, retest it, and continue. That's your reversal point. That's your pivot. Up here, what do you notice? The last candles before the sell off were bullish. These up close candles, you're going to close through it. All right. You see, we closed through this 2 a.m. candle, push back into it, fail to get through it. That's your cue that price is using this up close candle as resistance to create that top, that swing point. All right. So with that, we know we have this area up here very clean for shorts. And then in between, what do you notice? You see this up close candle starts the next leg lower. So if you're bearish, you could end up taking beautiful shorts off of this 4 hour zone here where price failed to go higher, gets underneath this bullish candle, retest it to confirm that you are correct. This is your resistance and breaks lower. We know price has to trend, so we're not necessarily bullish just because price looks bullish. We're only bullish up until this area, and then you see how price responds. If price starts showing weakness, you short it and should be easy money. Same thing over here. You have the same up close candle. And then if you go even lower, you see this is another area of interest where price is offering up close candle, close through it, continuation lower. So all this area is just bearish. And then over here, you see, yes, we're already back inside of this candle here that NASDAQ is reaching towards. So that right there tells me that we could already start looking for shorts here. There's nothing bullish about this, right? You see how easy it is to pick a bias. A lot of people struggle with picking a bias, but not many people understand the whole up close candle, down close candle idea. So just, that concept alone can make you profitable. Understanding where to look for shorts and where to look for buys. Down here, you're going to notice price is going to drive into a down close candle. Here's your down close range, and then start showing you bullishness. All right. Overnight session, this was a good spot for buys if you have some sort of lower time frame indication to enter the trade. All right. So now the higher time frame zones are pretty obvious. So I can drop down to this 30-minute chart and start looking to my left, right? Now that I look into this zone, I want to see what session liquidity is resting inside of these bearish areas, right? You always want to see some sort of sweep before you get into your position, right? So let's see. Let's find an example here. Perfect example, right? So I believe we took this short, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But long story short, right? We know this is a bearish zone. We have it grayed out here, highlighted. We know that there was a 4 hour up close candle here that was being used as resistance. So now all I'm looking for is price to push back in here and sweep one of these swing points. You notice that NASDAQ fails to sweep any of these swing points, right? But why is that? There's a reason why I have both charts side by side. It's very important to have these charts and being able to pretty much use both to get one objective. So example, this is a bearish zone. I want to see a sweep. What do you notice? Sweep right here. ES offers the sweep. We break that Asia high. NASDAQ doesn't. Even more bearish confirmation. I just need to see at least one sweep. And from here, you're completely bearish. You're not looking for higher. And what do you know? It sells off, right? Now you zoom into today's price action. What do you know? Price is offering a similar profile. We're pushing into this bearish territory, but if you look, there's SMT because we're pushing up into this high right here on that on ES. So this high right here is being taken out on ES, but we're not there yet on NASDAQ. So if price wanted to show weakness here, this will be a good spot for the same type of profile. You get the SMT sweep here, and this one fails to hit it. And then you see price start to break structure lower. And you'll notice how this price reverse, right? You're going to see it. It's very clear. After this sweep, what is going to happen? The best reversal profile. I don't care what anybody tells you, all right? If you really want to make money in these markets, start paying attention to how these swing points are forming, all right? If you really want to get the most out of the market, focus on the turning points and see what type of clues are being left behind, right? Here, we see price off of the sweep I would want to see. What do I notice? I'm literally just waiting for bullish candles to be closed through. It sounds simple, but there you go, right? We start closing through these bullish candles, including the wick, right? I don't exclude the wick. The wick is just as important. We close through this up close candle. What do you notice? Price pushing back into this body and rejecting beautifully. There's no reason for you to be buying in this zone. All right. This is the most obvious short. You get one short signal here. It's just a break and retest, right? You break the zone, break the candle range, I should say, with a strong closure, push back into it and break once again. That's a sell signal. Here's another retest. We haven't broken anything. There goes another strong bearish engulfing. That's another sell signal. And you're on your way, right? And this is on the 30-minute chart. So if you were to put your stop up here, you're only using a 15-point stop to cover that swing or cover that up close candle. And how many points do you catch? It's ridiculous, right? You're basically anticipating the swing point before it gets there. So you're slightly ahead of price when you're trading this way, and that's exactly where you want to be. Not too far ahead and definitely not chasing price. So I'm gonna zoom out here. The tables are set. Everything looks pretty clean if you ask me. Now all we have to do is wait for news to present itself. And literally, we already know it's gonna be bearish. Today's likely gonna be bearish unless you see something weird, which it can happen, right? Where price literally just keeps going straight up all day. No big deal. Just don't trade it. It's that simple. But in reality, we're going to see price push into some sort of up close candle, which this is the up close candle that we shorted Friday. Yeah. When I call my short Friday, what do you guys notice here? Bullish candle. We start closing underneath that bullish candle and price starts to retest this area. This is a beautiful area for shorts. Or if you're even one step ahead, you should say, all right, we have this up close candle right here to my left in Asia. Price closes through it. We never break that. If I get clean rejection out of here, which was a beautiful, nice wick off of this area, and if you look over here, it's the same thing. This up close candle was the start of this move lower, we retest it and show any wick rejection, I'm looking for short. I don't care what nobody else talking about. I'm looking for a short, and that's how we caught the shorts. And we have about 8 minutes left here. I'm gonna grab something to drink. Let's see what the chat is up to. See if anybody took any trades today. Let's see. Let's see. Do, 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 do. Nope, everybody's chilling so far. Definitely a relaxing type of session here. You want to make sure you're not overexcited to trade. But new month is here. New month is here. I'm gonna have to start tracking my stats for each month with like a some sort of like Tradezilla or something. But all that type of stuff is just noise, bro. Just take good trades, right? Who cares about anything else at this point? Just take good trades. So we're right back in this area from Friday, guys, and I'm already locking in on this zone here. Locking in on the same zone from Friday's action. And I'm looking to see what type of reaction we get when the news comes out. And we'll go from there. So I'm gonna literally be ready to execute right after 10 because price could start moving fast. And if it gives me what I want to see, I will try the short. But it may be a little bit different today because if you look, right, we have this massive range that price has given us. So you don't want to get too bearish inside of this range because price can find a reason to, for example, let's say you sell it and it shorts and sweeps an internal low and you think it's going to go way down here. Price has the freedom literally to use this bullish gap to bounce around before going lower if you're truly expecting lower. So you could be swept out here if you short too early, right? That's why it's important to just play the how you say, play the gaps. Let the gaps do the heavy lifting. So what'll happen is if price wants to short, I would let it short down into here first. Let it short into here because if you know me, you know how I like to trade. I like to see price fill in these opposing gaps first before I short. So if I'm going into a short and I see that there's higher time frame gaps like a 15-minute and potentially a 30-minute, sometimes even a 5-minute, right? You want to see price drive. Like, say we're 100% bearish here. Let me do this. Say we're 100% bearish and you want to see price go lower. You should not short the first 1 minute. You should not short the first 1 minute break of structure because the first 1 minute break of structure will drive into a bullish gap and then it could fail simply because there's buyers sitting in here, push price higher, pretend to be higher for a few swing points, and then break structure. Now that we've already mitigated this bullish gap, I feel more comfortable taking my short and holding it to the next gap or to the next higher time frame point of interest, right? You should always expect price to pretend to be bullish or something when it first enters an unmitigated fair value gap. All right, so that's my spiel. That's my bias for today. Hopefully, everyone else has a clean read on price. We've already taken out this Asia high. Notice London lows completely unbothered. And then we have New York session highs from Friday. We have Asia highs from Friday. So maybe news can give us some sort of manipulation. We'll see. 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left. If you guys have any questions, jump in the chat. If not, we are locked and loaded. Look at this, kid. Very bullish open. It's crazy. All right, cool. Really nice. Really nice. It's like this is so clean. Like almost obsessed with price action lately. It's been so clean. This is the stuff that makes trading fun. So yeah, that's the game plan. Sit here, wait for news, and I'll start dissecting price shortly. All right, we go. So you can see that bearish pressure already stepping in. We're tapping into, if we zoom this to specific areas, we're tapping into this up close candle over here, and we're showing signs of weakness already. We're retesting that same level that showed resistance prior, which was Friday. But now I'm like, okay, why would price push way up in here and not sweep out any prior or previous resistance, right? So that's the first thing I'm thinking. I'm like, all right, it's early. You guys know how I like to trade. I am a simple power of three, meaning I need to see manipulation in an area of interest before the delivery. This classic power of three. And I am a how you say reversal trader. So power of three, any manipulation up in here. And then after that, I am a simple break and retest type of trader on the lower time frame. So that's what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for a sweep of something prior, which we do have this Friday PM session high being swept, right? So that could be enough. I'm gonna look for some sort of opportunity lower. But as of right now, this is just the very beginning of a potential short. I'm looking for, and here's a good example, right? Perfect, bro. This is exquisite, right? You see, we get the rejection candle up here. What happens? Price drives into an unmitigated 5 minute gap. And what do you see? You see bullish pressure out of that gap, which you would expect. That's what you would expect. That's why you don't just short right into a gap until you let it mitigate. Now the next gap would be like down here, liquidity, liquidity. Right now, with the next gap being way down there, that could be your target for a quick however many points, right? If price fails to hold this 1 minute zone here, that's gonna tell me price wants higher. And I can go and start looking to my left to say, all right, there's the wick here. Let me start I would say Asia high is probably the draw if we can't continue lower right now. Liquidity, fair value gap, session, there it is. So yeah, I would say we're probably gonna start pushing towards that Asia high if we can continue this bullish pressure, right? Asia highs would be fire. And then we have this wick here, which would be a beautiful draw, similar to ES over here. We had that beautiful up close candle. We rejected the body. Now we're closing through that body. So that tells me, all right, chances are price probably wants this upper wick. And it could go higher, right? Like I said, it doesn't have to reject here, but I'm looking for signs of rejection. So far, there's no clean sign of rejection yet. We got this first initial sell off, and we're waiting to see how price responds now that we're retesting this up close candle, right? As I mentioned, every single reversal pretty much starts with an opposing candle. So if I'm bearish, I'm looking for a bullish candle to be flipped, which is exactly what we got here. So I was hoping for a simple retest showing rejection to go lower, right? We didn't get that. So that's telling me this is still bullish. Boom, 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 boom. Mm, 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 mm. Gold and silver stuck in between some very, very tough price action. You got this up close candle holding price down. You got this down close candle holding price up. But then you have this bearish fair value gap also holding price. So now if you're trading gold, you should say, maybe I should wait for price to show me a little bit more. Because it looks like price is boxed in here. It could range. All right, so it looks like we are officially breaking out. We have this previous daily high over here. Where's the previous daily high for Nasdaq? That's going to be my draw. Let's see. Let's see what happens here. I'm looking for a pullback. And also, let me check this news report. Hmm. Okay, nice. So PMI came back positive, which is good for price. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Let's go to the 30, 10 minute. So with that being said, I think we are going to push higher, and I like the previous day's high, which is Friday. So let's see if Monday can give us a clean move on Nasdaq as well as ES. You see ES is already pushing. So if we take out that previous daily high, what's the next draw? The next draw would be the previous weekly high for ES. We know ES is stronger. ES has been making all-time highs well before NASDAQ. So just because ES takes out this previous daily high does not mean that price will stop going higher. Price, NASDAQ will play catch up, right? ES will reach higher, and then you'll get like a SMT off of that previous weekly high or something, right? But I do anticipate NASDAQ to be able to hit this previous daily high at the least, as long as we continue to hold with this type of volume. I'm going to be looking for buys to sweep liquidity. And also considering that today's Monday, that factors into the power of three ideal ideas that I like to follow, right? If we're bearish on the higher time frame, Monday could open up sweep liquidity, and then Wednesday or Tuesday, Thursday is where you get that bearish pressure to offer the real move. But you should always be expecting a power of three move before the real move. Some sort of manipulation, some sort of accumulation before the distribution. So I'm hoping we don't take this previous day high because I want to buy ES. That's going to be the easiest one. ES is stronger. So I'm looking at from this previous range here, I'm looking at some levels. Make these red because red means buy for me. These levels here, we got this volume imbalance as well. So I would just put it like in between here. Yeah, so I'm looking for something like this. Pull back, pretend to go higher, pull back, pretend to go lower, hit one of these levels, and rip for a continuation. That's all I'm looking for. And then vice versa, right? How does price respond after we start taking out liquidity? Here we go. Come on. Give us a sharp pullback. I'll be looking for the buys here, guys. Um, I should drop a poll in the chat, but it's pretty obvious, right? Price is strong right now. So don't go against what price is telling you right now. We gave price a chance to put the news out, right? So it looks pretty solid if you ask me. Let me mark off these levels over here as well. Nothing bearish about this so far. Nothing bearish at all. Even though we're in bearish territory, it's all about how price responds to that bearish territory, aka the retest. What is that retest telling you? Right now, this retest is telling me ignore the shorts. Price wants higher. Simply put, 10 a.m. opens, drives into this fair value gap on the 10-minute chart. You can see it here. We drive into here. Beautiful rejection. ES doesn't fill any higher time frame gap just yet. We have this 15-minute gap. I would love to see price trade back into here, but now it's just a waiting game because price doesn't have to pull back. We've seen this before where almost like yesterday with the shorts. Price just shorted. Like when it was ready to go, it was gone. Similar to these buys, when it was ready to take off, it's not wasting any time. My goodness, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. Boom, boom, boom. Let me get some music going in here. Chill vibes, man. It's really important that you have appropriate vibes when you're on these charts. Very appropriate vibes. Super chill, professional, fearless, all at the same time. And here we are, man. Truly blessed to be able to do this. Nice. So you'll notice this this down close candle is doing some damage right now. Down close candle, close through it, retest, fail to get back below it. Beautiful speed from it. The reason why you don't want to just buy it there is because you know how manipulated the markets are, right? So anytime you see something like this where the market's like so eager to go higher, people are gonna FOMO into these and just start clicking the buy button. And that's all it wants you to do, just so that it can pull back and then give you a better entry. So if you're patient, either you're going to miss this, let's say price is like, this is enough. I'm okay. I just want to keep going higher. I got somewhere to be. No time to waste today. I really need to get to this previous daily high. You miss the trade being patient, but ultimately that just gives you another trade idea for the reversal. Once it hits where it's going to give you some sort of exhaustion to take it lower. So that's one reason why I wouldn't FOMO into it, because if it does hit the target before I can get in, I'll just wait for a reversal. Second of all, if you FOMO into here, it is going to more times than not sweep before giving you just a straight line to draw on liquidity, right? We know the market likes to push, lower high, push, fake lower high, real lower high, push. Sometimes you get a clean lower high. Sometimes you get those fake out lower highs so you can get swept out. And I'm anticipating price to create a fake lower high. We've given you this pullback here. This looks like a legitimate lower high where price breaks, accumulates a little bit, pushes down, and then break structure again. I would love to see this hold up as a legitimate lower high and then price create some sort of fake lower high in here, sweep it, and then offer that. If price, wants to continue without us, it's trash, but it's like, it is what it is, right? You don't want to allow that to force you to give in to your FOMO. FOMO is crazy. Yeah, FOMO is legit right now. A lot of people are going to just FOMO into this. And they might win, right? There might be a day where price just goes straight up. But is that a profitable tactic or a profitable habit to have? No, it is not. It's probably the most least profitable activities you can partake in. All right, so here we go now. So now this is starting to give me bearish vibes, right? We're continuing to overextend. We have not given a legitimate manipulation to go higher. That's a red flag. This looks like it's literally only delivering to sellers, and then once the sellers get a hold of price, it's going to dump it lower. Right? We're taking out this liquidity now. We're actually sweeping Asia highs. We're sweeping previous daily highs on ES. NASDAQ is creeping up on it, but NASDAQ doesn't really show as much strength. Major red flag. I go back to the 1 minute chart. and I'm noticing, all right, we just spent 22 minutes going straight up in the air, right? This candle opens up at 10 a.m. and doesn't offer any manipulation. Look at this 30-minute candle here. Look at the body. Look at the wick. Way too much bullish pressure without manipulation. Red flag. I'm almost certain now that if we can get some clean, it's tough. It's tough. You can't really you can't really discredit the buys yet. So I'm gonna chill. I have to wait, right? And the reason I say that is because this strong closure here, almost I would need to see price start closing through these bullish candles, right? So for example here, you really don't want to be bearish right away, right? You see this here. If you're bearish right away, what happens? Maybe you get this, but this is at 7 a.m. Here, you want to see price start breaking these candles. That's when that bearishness really starts to show. You get a strong 30-minute candle. Let's see if we can start closing through it. Here you get that closure through it. And now you're saying, all right, any retest with the rejection up here, now I want to short it because now this becomes my bearish range, right? This candle becomes exactly where I want to short from once we get through it. You know what I mean? So we close through it and you start rejecting it. Here's a sell signal, whatever it looks like on the lower time frame. Here's another wick rejection, right? So that's the safest short when you see price showing this much strength. Just wait for price to start closing through that up close candle. If you try to short it up in here, these wicks are doing damage. You're getting stopped out in these areas trying to short too early, right? Whereas instead of trying to short here, you would be looking to short off of an up close candle up here, but you get this doji, which serves as a better selling point. We close through it here. You push into this area with wick rejection. You should be looking to short in this wick now, right? Right now we have no wicks. Price is pushing into very, very unmitigated territory. So it could go higher. We could end up sweeping this high, you know, so it's still pretty bullish. I don't want to get too short happy here until we start showing some real rejection. Really nice, really nice, really nice. Let's see if we can get some pullback here. But all in all, if you're just looking at the power of three point of view, you should be getting ready for some sort of short. I may not trade the short, right? Because I understand that there's higher time frame bullish gaps right here, 4 minutes away, 10-minute gap, right? You see all this bullish territory. So I'm not going to be the first one to short this. I'm going to let the shorts push into bullish territory and then see what happens, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to get the buyers step up once we fill in this gap, push price a little bit higher, and then you might start seeing that bearish pressure. And that's when I'll start looking for that break and retest lower. But for now, keeping a close eye on how these up close and down close candles are maintaining price on the lower time frame. If you notice, right, we have this up close candle. We haven't closed through it yet over here. Let's check NASDAQ. Yeah, we're chilling. It's just completely bullish. Yeah, nothing bearish so far. Here we go. Let's see. All right, here we go. So what do you guys notice? What do you guys notice? Up close candle becoming resistance. How do I know? Just look at the body of the candle and tell me how price is responding to each side of it. Price closes this up close candle, immediately resistance, immediately resistance, immediate rejection from this high, and we slice through the low. That's the first sign. All right. Next sign, price is gonna push right back into it and do the same thing and tell you, all right, I just can't go through here. That second time, that's all I need to see. I don't need any more confirmation to know that this is a point of resistance. Right. So I'm going to wait this out, see what happens. Because the shorts look appropriate. And why would I be okay with shorting this one now, right? You're going to see price fill in some sort of fair value gap. There it is. There goes your 5-minute gap being filled. You're going to see price pretend to be bullish, push right back into that 1-minute order block, fail again. And now I know I can short it safely down to the next fair value gap before having to worry about a potential reversal. That way I'm not being greedy, but I'm still making money in a bullish scenario. I could still short it down into fair value gaps. And then you can play both sides, right? Imagine you get this short, you short it down into here, something like this, right? You short the weaker pair, short NASDAQ, blah, blah, blah. You send it down into here for about 40, 50 points. And then from there, if it starts showing that bullish profile, you buy it back up. And now you just caught a round trip. And here goes that push higher. It looks like we might fill this gap in first, huh, kid? We'll see. We definitely need to fill this zone here. There goes that gap fill on NASDAQ. So this looks like it's probably going to be a deep dive, right? You just dive down into here and then you get that bullish profile. That's what it's starting to look like. Price doesn't really want you to get a chance to short. It's just going to short off of this up close candle. No retest needed. Price just bleeds because it knows it's not truly bearish. It's only driving in here to get liquidity to go higher. So let's actually zoom into here. Boom, 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 boom. Find some new levels. ES is pushing into very bullish territory. Boom, 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 boom. I like these levels here, that previous daily high. Let's see what happens here. So what do you guys notice, right? You see this gap fill here? Beautiful gap fill. That can literally be enough to send price on its way. So that's what I'm watching here. How does price respond here? Can we show some strength? If so, I'm going to be looking to buy over here. Stop underneath here about 10 points. And just take a quick like 1.3, 1.2, 7,000, 1.25. Ideal entry price. Let me type this up real quick. 10 contracts. I'm sorry, 10 points, maybe 10.5. Cover that low as well. 10.5 points would be 9 micros for $500. I'll probably go a little bit higher, but we'll see. Nice. So what do you guys notice, right? You see this bearish gap. You want to see sellers, or you want to see some sort of bearish reaction here. All right. I would love to see price reject and then stab into this down close candle here and reject. Right. We stab into this down close candle, start getting above this bearish gap here. I am hip for higher. But initially, you want to see price drive into this bearish gap and show bearish pressure. That's the most algorithmic reaction you could ask for, because even though it's not bearish, you still want it to pretend to be bearish to absorb sellers. And then you have your eyes on these bullish areas of interest and you say, all right, now that we've tapped into here, I want to see price drive into this bullish zone and completely fail to go lower. All right, if we get underneath this zone here, then price is going to dig deeper, and I'll just wait for price to finish digging deeper before I buy it. All right, so the narrative is pretty much set. All I'm doing here is looking for the proper place to buy, to give price a chance, right? You can't be 100% on like every single zone that you try to buy or sell. But what you can do is wait patiently for a valid reaction. And I love how price is holding up this down close candle. We tapped into it 2 times here, failed to go lower. We hit these higher time frame zones. Even though I would love for price to retrace, like if we pull out this Fibonacci, right? If we pull out this Fibonacci from 930, you know, naturally you would love for price to pull back to a discount back to this 10 a.m. level. But that just doesn't happen sometimes, right? So that's where today's type of approach would come into hand, where you're like, all right, price is showing that it really doesn't want lower. Let's start flipping bullish again. And I'm going to try this. Let's see if NASDAQ can catch up here. I want to see NASDAQ offer some strength here, because you don't want to get hit with that SMT short. All right, so that's why I'm waiting here. I'm waiting to see NASDAQ offer excuse me. So yeah, let's see if NASDAQ can give us that continuation higher here. We see ES doing really well, holding this bullish area of interest. All right, now we want to see NASDAQ start to get through this bearish EMA right now. If we can start to flip this EMA, and we start closing through these short-term highs, closing through these down close candles in here, then I'll start to draw up my buying opportunity. So you can see price starting to pick up that speed now. NASDAQ starting to catch up a little bit. I'm just waiting on NASDAQ to show some strength and close up in here. We're not missing out on anything, because if we're truly bullish, there's going to be a lot more upside. All right. And this is going to be about 11 contracts. 9 contracts will be 500. I'm adding 2 because I like this setup. And how many seconds left? 16 seconds left. Let's see how this closes. I'm going to long this. 7 seconds left. Yeah, let me get in that before it tries to take off. Decent field price. I wanted to get in around here. Yeah, not bad. And I'm looking for speed now. I want to see price maintain these EMAs and start using these down close candles to send price higher. And it should be pretty quick, understanding that price is simply bullish right now. We got this Asia high here. I have an alert set here. And then we have, where's that high at? Did I not? Hold on 1 second. Where's that high that I marked out earlier? 30-minute chart. Okay, yeah. So we've already taken out this high. We put in that high. So the next 30-minute level would be up in this zone here. Yeah. So if I go back down here, yeah, about 13 points is what I'm looking for. And I just want to see speed higher towards these draws. Let's go 4-hour here. Yeah, so we have this 4-hour open price here. I'll mark this off as potential resistance. And we're looking for more daily liquidity as well. Yeah, so the daily chart, we have this high, Thursday high. 4-hour chart, we have this open price and that high, which price could reject either or. Hourly chart, we have this candle with no wick on it. So 723 is probably going to be the draw here. $723. And I'm looking at ES for my targets because ES is a stronger one. If we're getting through, I think we close the 30-minute candle in 19 minutes. This is tough, bro. I hate this wick right here. This could get spooky, kid. Right? You see how price pushes into here, gives you this up close candle with this wick. But I like how we responded on the lower time frame, right? When we took out this high, you didn't see price continue lower. You saw price build beautiful bullish structure after taking out this high right here. So I'm anticipating, all right, if we can just close through this high in the next 20 minutes, that's going to draw us towards this open price up here. But this is tough because this is, yeah, we're still in bearish territory. So price could try and fake you out, kid. Let's see what it's doing right now. Back to entry. Just that quick, right? So now I'm looking at it. I'm like, all right, I'm going to be careful here. Let me get ready to exit early if price wants to play hooky here. I know exactly what to do. Cut the trade, wait for a different setup. Let me put my stop in here. Oh, stop there. Because this is the type of stuff that you have to consider when you're trading. It'll wait to the last minute to either go bearish or it'll simply just fake you out. Try its hardest to make you buy it and then just go right back bearish, right? So I'm watching this closely. Let me do this. All right, cool. So what do I see now? I want to know, why didn't NASDAQ take this high? And look at how NASDAQ is respecting here. Yeah, I need to see NASDAQ break this high. If NASDAQ can't break this high, it's probably going to end up being a shake. And we're probably going to have to get out. So we have this down close candle right here. I want to see this hold up. We start breaking through this down close candle. That'll probably be my cue to cut it early. I need to see strength, right? We're not looking for chop. We're not looking for bearishness. We're looking for speed, the same speed that price pretended to give here. That's what I need to see. And now you see price just leeching into so-called bullish territory. That's not good. I need to see a nice wick reaction here. If not, this is going to be cut off. Let's see here. Yeah, bro. Let's see. Come on, give me some wick. We got 23 seconds left in this candle. Looking for a wick rejection here. We're back into that bullish zone for NASDAQ. Let's see if we can get some bullish pressure. We already got that tap into this level once, twice. Now this is the third time. I need to see some strong rejection here. See, and you notice how this 30-minute candle starting to look like a doji. We need to see this close with a strong body above the level that I mentioned, right? And we still have 15 minutes left in this candle. So I don't want to give up on it just yet. We can still see a nice 15-minute expansion. But you got to be aware, So that's what I don't know if I like this. I don't like how it's hanging out in here. I need to see price reclaim this EMA. Otherwise, it'll try to rip lower. What's it gonna be, kid? Are you bearish now? This don't look like price is truly. We need to see like that random spike from this level. Otherwise, it's gonna rip through it. It's hanging out in very, very bullish territory though, so I can't be too bothered just yet. All right, yeah. So now it's like, all right, it's now or never. I need to see this. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. Come on, kid. I'm trying to give you a chance before I get out. Come on, kid. You can do that. It's 10:46. 10:46. Back into the down close candle. Yeah, bro. I need to see you start expanding. Let's see. All right, so we have this up close candle in here. If we start rejecting this up close candle, that's not good. So let's see if we can push back into it and read that reaction. I need to see price push back into this up close candle. And that'll give me a real idea as to like, all right, it looks like we're rejecting this wick. Yeah, kid, this isn't. I need to see price genuinely drive into here and show me that, oh, it just doesn't want to go higher now. That'll be my cue to get out. As you can see, it just won't even push. I just need a push. It's not giving it. Come on, bro. Do I want to get out here? I think I have to if this can't give me that push. Trying to wait this out so that I know for sure that this is going to be where price tries to go lower, or is it just taking its time to go higher? Come on, give me that random drive here. Random drive, push at least into this body. If it can't make it into that body, that's got to be the clear sign that price is stuck here. Come on, kid. What's the deal? What's the deal? Don't do that. If you're gonna be bearish, at least retest this body price right here. And it won't even it won't even give us that. For whatever reason, price is stuck here. Yeah. Yeah. I'm out of that. I'm out of it. I'll feel better. I'll feel better without this. Just wait it out. So I'm gonna take that early exit there, and I'm gonna wait for price to start breaking through these up close candles. I'm sorry, these up close candles. Same thing, down close candles. Gonna wait that out. All right, and we're sweeping this low here on NASDAQ, which could be literally the cue for higher. Price wants to give us this SMT. If price ends up breaking structure here, I may want to go short too. I love how NASDAQ is breaking structure, but it doesn't mean much unless ES can do it as well. Uh-oh, yeah, this could be the pivot. Yeah, you get that fake out as if price really wants to go higher. It takes out a high, puts SMT, and then immediately trades back to the low. Uh-oh. Yeah, kid. All right, yeah. So now with this candle starting to show its true colors, you see this 30-minute candle here. We're offering SMT at the high. All we need to see is price break this bullish profile here on ES. This is the last hope for the buys. When we see price drive into it, give these little faint bounces, that's not enough to convince me that we truly want higher. So the moment we start getting underneath this low, similar to what NASDAQ is doing here, I will happily look for shorts. And I'm just going to short it back down to, actually I may start shorting this here. Well, we'll wait for this candle to close, this 30-minute candle to close, and then I'll start looking for my short. Yeah, I'm out of the buys here. Very, very, very obvious sign of weakness when you see we make a high and then we break the zone that was supposed to be supporting us on the weaker pair, and now we're seeing price pretend to be bullish over here. I'm waiting for it to just fail. All right, nice. So we should get that there we go. There goes the break. And we have 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes left until this new 30-minute candle is gonna open. So instead of chasing the short, right, what you'll do is you'll wait for 11 o'clock to hit. And once 11 o'clock hits, you're going to see price pull back because of the power of three. Same concept, right? You're going to see price pull back into bearish territory and give you a chance to short it inside of that new 30-minute candle. So that's what I'm anticipating here. And my targets are going to be just a rebalancing move back to the original range because we're overextended. I was hoping price would try to use this new candle to go higher, but as you can see, this was the zone. This zone breaks. No bullish pressure anymore. No reason to look for buys. Good job. Early exit. Save a few bucks. And now this up close candle up here is still the culprit. We just have SMT off of it. But as you can see, NASDAQ holds this up close candle with a retest, break of structure. So now I have targets lower, which are going to be highlighted in red. So now I just need to see a bounce, and I'm going to short NASDAQ. We'll have this right here. Hopefully it gives me a chance to short it before it runs. I like this level here. Boom, 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 boom. And a lot of people are probably going to try to FOMO short, just like the FOMO buy. I almost basically FOMO buy, but I waited for at least a legit break and retest, right? And then I had obvious reason to believe that, okay, price, if it didn't want to go lower, this is where it would hold. So I'm going to buy it off of here, right? And then if that fails, then that tells me, cool, let's go lower. And I'm marking off my areas of interest now. From 10 to 1030 are the levels where price should reject. Yeah, 10. I'm sorry, not 10 to 1030. 1030 to 11 is where I'm looking for rejection. 1030 to 11. All right, there goes ES. There goes this new candle opening here. Let's get that deep drive here. Manipulate some of these sellers. And we are ready to roll. Boom, 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 boom. All right, yeah. So I'm gonna zoom in over here on NASDAQ. Get rid of some of this. We know we're in bearish territory. Put that back. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, shorts. I just need a decent drive here. I'm looking for a decent drive. Ideally, it may not even want to give it to you, kid. Stop above here. 65 points at least would be 5 micros. Let's go 7 or 8. 7. All right, let's see here. What do we get? Do we get this strong closure here? If so, I'm going 65 points on the short. And I'm looking for something down in here. I need a good strong closure. 25,008. 12. Pace. That'll be 4. 65 points. 75. And then you probably just go for like, 1.5 or 1.4, 1.3. 1.3, 1.4, 90.65 for 90. All right, yeah. So I'm just looking for that speed into one of these levels, which low key we're already seeing that. So I'm ready to fire on the shorts. We have, remember that up close candle that I was talking about here? This is the culprit. Price breaks the low, pushes back into this up close candle, shows you that this is where you're going to get that pressure from. So I just want my stop slightly above it, maybe 70 points. 4 micros, add a couple, because once again, I always like my setups. It's funny I say that every time, but add a couple contracts because I like the setup. 8, 13, trade it down into that low. I don't see anything blocking price. Yeah, let me turn on this actually. Yeah, I don't see anything blocking price. 10 a.m. should be the draw here. 13. Cool. So yeah, I'm just looking for price to start slamming. ES looks fine, but NASDAQ looks like it may want to push a little higher. You know, you don't see price breaking any lows right now. It's just wicking and then pushing up, wicking, pushing up, wicking, pushing up. So just waiting here. 10-minute chart. Oh, okay. So yeah, we do have this level here. That could cause it. Nice. 15. All right, cool. So yeah, we're chilling. The shorts are pretty much in motion. 70-point stop is what I'm looking for about a 90-point target. And just waiting for some pressure to step in here. Some bearish pressure to step in. Got a clean level for my stop. I'm shorting the weaker asset. Pretty solid. Pretty solid. It looks like we might try to run here. Yeah. All right, I'm short there, guys. Let's see if we get a nice closure. If this doesn't close how I want to see it close, then I'll get out. I'm looking for a strong closure. All right, I jumped the gun a little bit, but we've wicked this area a few times. So now I'm like, all right, can we get a closure now? It's 11:04. We've tapped into a few levels. If we don't get that closure, then yeah, I need to cut this. Come on, kid. Yeah, that's tough. So now you're just basically asking for drawdown. I'm trying to get us a chance to run here. There we go. Come on. I need a strong closure now that we keep breaking this low. And let me add some alerts over here to ES. But looking for a strong closure. Come on, bro. Need a strong closure here. Put a stop in up in here. Strong closure, kid. Come on, kid. 9 seconds left. That's not a bad move there. It's not bad at all. So you're gonna get a decent closure in 2 seconds. Cool. So you'll be able to ride this lower and keep an eye on this 10 a.m. price because that could be the draw. That could be the draw. Nice. All right, cool. So I'm filled there. Got a decent fill. 25.17. Not bad. And my stops are in, my targets are in. I'm looking for 10 a.m. to be this draw. And I'm looking for what else? I mean, this could be the high. This could put in the high. But you know, like I said, there's so much unmitigated bullish territory down here. So I'm not planning on holding it too long here. No way, Jose. All right, so looking at this, we have this up close candle right here pushing into this gap. So this is where I want to see price continue to reject. Right here. So let's get that selling pressure and open the floodgates lower. All right, I gotta get out of that. That's dead. That's dead in the water. And the only culprit here is this lame area right here. Somehow this is holding, bro. Look at it. You see this, bro? That is so lame to me, bro. Look at this. So now we're magically back bullish. I don't feel comfortable shorting anymore. And from what I can see, this is the culprit here. I'm waiting for price to retest these levels, but apparently from 10 to 1010, this is enough to hold price up, bro. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Doesn't match anything I've ever studied. So I can't even be upset. All I can say is I was anticipating a short down before going long based on how price responded to this zone here. Instead, the shorts hit this 10-minute body, which closed at 1010. Bro, that's so lame to me, bro. That is so lame. At this point, I'll just wait. I may take one more, I may not, because I just took a huge hit. I'm down like 1,000. Yeah. So bro, that's trash. When I look around and I'm saying where is price going, I can honestly say that I'm not too sure. We're still in this bearish order block. Price can literally still go lower, which is so lame. And that's where I have to play it safe here right now and just give it a little bit more time. Right? We had this obvious bullish profile right here. I'm looking for price to pull back into one of these levels specifically. We pull back into this one. I normally don't count that one, so I'm not going to count it today. But it's almost like I have to based on the reaction. Like, I never really care for this. Oh, okay. So, yeah, okay. This is trash. I'll let the buys go without me. I'll wait around for a short. And yeah, that has to be it for me. I can't draw up a good idea for buys, especially with this reaction here. This is exactly what I want to see for a short. So I'm looking for price to pull back into one of these black lines and show me bearishness. Right? We saw a little bearishness here, which was enough to make me try this short here with my stop essentially right here. You get stopped out. And now it's like, all right, the last area for rejection would be this high. And I want to see how price responds at this high for another short opportunity. But I also may have to add this to my notes because what we did was we gave this bullish profile. Instead of pulling back, what price did was close another 30-minute candle, and it gave you down close candles in here. So I was looking for either buys off of this one or buys off of these down close candles. But you can see this down close candle right here was the culprit. Price doesn't get any strength underneath here. You get a sweep, right? You get 1 minute closure underneath this candle, but then price climbs right back above it. So I'm like, so trash, man. You spend all that time studying and preparing for the week, and then the first trade idea gives you something that you don't expect to see at all. Like, get out of here, kid. Let's go 10-minute. Yeah, so everything that I would wanted to see was pretty clean in here. So this is definitely a sell signal. The one problem is apparently you want to just stick to the bias, which was bullish. Like, I was bullish to begin with, but once price starts playing weird games and showing you exhaustion, I naturally love to fade these types of setups, right? So I'm not upset that it didn't play out. It's just a shocker, to be honest, because I would expect price to start rebalancing this range. It's way too overextended, and we got a clean reversal profile. Yet, here we are watching price continue to trade higher inside of a bearish range. This does not mean that we are still bullish. I wouldn't even consider buying it until price maybe breaks this range here, but let's see if we can get a short from the highs here. I like this overextension into bearish territory once again. Price can get this EMA. I would try another short, no question. And that'll be it for me today. 40, 45 points to be safe. And then just target a massive move lower to recoup from today's positions. Because like I mentioned, right, this up close candle here is the culprit for the shorts. This is where you ideally want to short. A lot of times price doesn't even pull back way up into here, but now we get that pullback. You get immediate bearish pressure. Let's see, man, a closure underneath this line here. You can see this was support, turned into resistance. And now if we can get back up under it, what price would that be? 861. Nice whole number. 50-point stop would be 5 micros. And that'll be my last idea. Shorts under 2561. 2561, and let's see if we can get a bang. I said 61, 861. Yeah, 25, 861. Nice pressure stepping in here. 5 contracts for the short, and we're literally gonna go 50 points for literally 100 or maybe 90. 1.7. Yeah, just keeping in mind we're in bearish territory on the higher time frame. We have a lower time frame bearish profile, and we also have an overextension, meaning that all of this down here is low resistance liquidity, easy targets for a short. And 10 a.m. is where I'm expecting price to rebalance to. So let's see if we can start breaking through these lows in here. Let's see, man. This is crazy to me, but I need to see a closure underneath this line here. Let's check out ES. Yeah, let's start getting closures underneath these lines. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Super lame, man. Imagine this ends up flushing for the rest of today. You see gold literally still bearish. Yeah. It's hard to argue for the buys, man. It's hard to argue for the buys. If price maintains this level, maybe, right? It's 1127. So let's see. Maybe we just have to wait for a new 30-minute candle here. I just need to see price start showing me some. There we go. Come on. Start closing underneath this line here, and I'm shorting it. Stop at a safe swing. And I'll just have to let that one play out. We should start forming some up close candles that give us some bearish pressure. There we go. There goes one up close candle. Oh yeah. Need to start getting up under it, closing through it on both charts over here. I would hate for this to just keep going higher because it's just such an unorthodox bullish profile. Very unorthodox. Either this is going to be like a slow grind higher or it's going to be a massive dump. I haven't seen any legitimate retracement so far for the buys. But somehow this just looks very bullish. This is unbelievable. But that's usually how it looks, right? It looks like it's so strong and then it just crumbles. But let's say we end up pushing through this high, making new highs, all that type of stuff. This is going to be the culprit and I need to take notes on this because what happened was we got a bullish profile to start 10 a.m. open. And then instead of price retesting at 10 a.m. open, giving you that power of 3, it expands one more time, right? And then instead of using the first 30-minute range as break and retest, it used the second 30-minute range to pull back. Like if you just pull your Fibonacci from this candle range, you'll see price pulls back to a discount beautifully. And it's bullish, bro. We're at this point, I don't think it's gonna go short unless we just see massive bearish candles, but it's starting to get into that bearish territory and I still don't see any bearishness. So if that's the case, that may be a new profile I have to add to my notes where instead of price using the first 30-minute range to rebalance, it uses that second 30-minute range and then rebalances here, gives you a nice turn here with a buy signal here. If you were anticipating price could use this second 30-minute candle the same way I would have tried to use the first 30-minute candle, if you were anticipating that and you get this buy here, your stop will literally just cover that low, target the high, 1.28 R. I don't recall seeing anything like this, so I'm never gonna be upset about missing that. But if it is a profile, it'll be nice to have in my notes for the next session. But naturally, my notes tell me to short. Everything about this tells me to short. Try it here because you see the rejection. If that doesn't work, wait for price to fill in some more bearish territory and then show more bearishness and then take that short. If those two don't work out, then that's it for today, right? There's nothing else you can do. Look at ES, bro. ES is showing that weakness. NASDAQ, come on, kid. I need you to pick up the pace, bro. ES is showing that weakness. We'll see, though. At this point, we just opened up a new 30-minute candle. So if we're bearish, price could sweep out these highs first and then go lower. Yeah, notice there's no wick here on NASDAQ. I just would love to see price just try to run lower here. I would love that. All right, so looking at it, right, what do I see? I see we have a few areas here. So these are going to be bullish zones here. These down close candles definitely held up price. All right, and then you have prices closing with these up close candles starting to reject. Same zone here, boom, boom. Same zone here, boom, boom. You see there's a ton of bearish pressure up in here, kid. That's for certain. Are they gonna hold up? We're about to find out, but bearish zone printed at the 10:30 close, retest that bearish zone in the new 30-minute candle break structure, retesting it again over here, still showing bearishness, but failing to get this EMA. Once we start getting through this EMA, then I'll be a believer that price is ready to go lower. Right now, these sells are being absorbed like crazy. Yes, at least underneath the EMA, right? But oh, this is trash, bro. Like I almost like don't know if I want to trade this. It's 11:30. Yeah, I'm tempted to wrap it up early today. Just very unorthodox. Very unorthodox. And I don't want to lose too much money on a day like this because these are the days that are unpredictable, right? Where you're like, all right, price gave me everything I needed to see, yet it's still in a range. Why aren't we going anywhere? I don't want to get caught trading this range and it just keeps chopping all morning, going side to side, and never really offering a delivery. So I gotta be careful here. This level is still valid, so I'm not really too bullish just yet. I'm just waiting to see, can we actually dump here? Got that level there. That level there. This level here. And yeah, this is like, I'm hoping that it's bearish just to make me feel better. But if it is bearish, this is one of the most high resistance shorts you could ask for. Like prices just pretending to be bullish. Look at these runs higher, bro. Every single run has just been straight up, straight up. We have higher time frame SMT. We have higher time frame bearish zones. We have the lower time frame showing you that exhaustion. And literally, it's just not shorting though. That's the only thing that's left to the puzzle. Show me the short, kid. There's still a chance though for these shorts. It's just how patient are you, and does it actually happen before we break these highs? If we get above these highs, I'm not shorting it. Unless there's SMT, right? If we get an SMT up here, then maybe. But if we see ES and NASDAQ get above these highs here, that's a wrap for the shorts. No question. No question. But, you know, you can see where price is still low-key bearish. You can argue the buys, but if you're a buyer, you're like, you better buy it here. Be buying it up here. You're asking to get dumped on, right? And I would love to see price just hit this 10 a.m. price. That'll be A plus. The weird part about this profile, now look at NASDAQ offering sweeps of highs, ES over here failing to sweep the high. We just saw over here, right? We saw NASDAQ fail to take a high. We saw ES take that high. Now you're starting to see NASDAQ be the stronger one. Now you're starting to see NASDAQ take out internal highs while ES is not strong enough to do so. Like, that's a good sign of foolery. I don't know if I really want to trust this, bro. So trash. Weakness on ES, no weakness on NASDAQ. EMA holding up very, very strong. I think it's just bullish, bro. I think that's just all it comes down to. As bad as price is showing exhaustion, it's like price is just not ready to go lower yet. And then when it finally hits, it's gonna sell off so fast that you might not be able to catch it. But I still have to short the NASDAQ, knowing that NASDAQ is the weaker one. But you can see ES hasn't taken out this 30-minute high. NASDAQ has. Very strange, bro. Very, very strange, man. Maybe that's a sign that price isn't going higher or lower. Maybe it's just going to chop here. Patiently waiting for another sell attempt. ES looking fabulous. We drove into this up close candle, immediately break structure, not once but twice. Here we drive into that up close candle. We have failed to show much. There we go. This is trash, bro. Like, why would it be doing all of this if it's truly bearish? It makes you nervous to short. Like, bro, am I actually gonna catch the delivery, or is price gonna go choppy, chop, chop, chop for the rest of the day? I was trying to run here now. See how that goes, but still waiting, still waiting. I really don't like NASDAQ above here because you're susceptible to a bounce. Up under here, I like it at 64s. And ES is leading the way, bro. Should I short ES? They both should short. It shouldn't even be a question, but we'll see here. 65, 60, 50 point stop. Yeah. All right, so I have to sell that there. And we did get a decent closure underneath that level. So I'm going to set some alerts here on ES once again. Once ES starts taking out lows, I need to manage this position. And I'm actually going to add one more here. I like this short. And bro, bless me with a delivery here, and that'll make up for all of the shenanigans that was presented going into today's session. Don't want to see price back above this level. If so, that'll be another red flag. We spend a lot of time up here, so you want to see speed lower, right? You don't want to see price feel the need to continue to push up. You want to see a quick delivery lower. And where are we at? Stop there. And put my limit down here. But all in all, this looks pretty solid. I'll have to accept whatever's offered here because we have way too many things telling me to short. Like I don't see much to really hold on to if you're bullish. So I love the fact that we offer another SMT on the 30-minute chart. We offer a retest of the original sell pressure. We get more sell pressure. We're falling below this black line now. We're underneath the EMA. Now we're just looking for these areas to support the trade. That's it. Don't let it reclaim the EMA. Don't let it break these bearish gaps. And that'll be more than enough to send price lower. Yeah, so I think the hard part is done. Now this should be the easy part. Just sell off. Just sell off, kid. High drawings. And that would be how many points? Oh, that's way, yeah. About 90 points 10 a.m., like I said before, is really the draw. So I may even just hope for that to be hit. We should hit 10 a.m. though. If we're truly bearish, we should rebalance to 10 a.m. Right? 10 a.m. opens higher, gives you that power of 3, shows that exhaustion on the higher time frame, shows you bearish areas of interest. I hate that we're even up in this area again. But yeah. 12 o'clock is near. Let's see what we get. Definitely want to see these bearish gaps hold up like aggressively to give me confidence to hold this short, because we've spent a lot of time up here. Let me turn it off. All right, yeah. So I'm out of that, and I have to wrap it up here. Apparently, price is just bullish from thin air. And the part that's lame about this buy is all I wanted was a retrace, bro. And apparently, like I said, I have to add this. I have to add this to a profile that I look over because essentially I like to trade 30-minute profiles, right? So when I see price giving 30-minute reactions into higher time frame areas of interest, I look for certain type of plays, right? So here I see this beautiful rejection. I'm anticipating to push back into that initial range, but we literally push into the high, which 10 a.m. closes. Well, really, honestly, this is just trash, bro. I don't even really want to take this profile and try to do anything with it because it just looks so strange to me. Looks way too strange. Crazy, bro. Like, we push into this 50%, and that's the actual bottom tick. Price runs to the highs. ES takes the highs. Just bad read on my part. I can't draw up anything other than what I saw earlier. And I'm gonna look at gold just to see if gold gave anything better, but I'm just gonna have to walk away with a fat L today. I'm not gonna trade this anymore. It's 12 o'clock. Wrap it up there. 9:30 to 10 o'clock. Let's see what happens here. You get a nice rejection candle up in here. Boom, 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 boom. I'm just looking to see if gold gave anything clean. And then I'll get out of here. Biggest losing day of the year for me. I lost 3 trades today. Well, 2.5. And yeah, and it's funny because it's the same profile that I traded on Friday. Bearish profile, overextension into bearish territory. But yet today, price is finding magical support in the middle of thin air, refusing to go lower, right? So that just tells me price wants higher somehow. And then maybe we take out that previous daily high on NASDAQ, which I think I have it highlighted. Let's see. Where's that previous daily high? Okay, yeah. So here's probably where price is trading towards 26,000. But looking at this, let's see. Do we have some sort of area of interest? Bro, this is so clean, bro. See, this is exactly the pro. That's exactly what I would want to see over on the NASDAQ, right? So we have price breaking lower, right? Once we break lower, you're looking at from 9:30 to 10, right? You use the 9:30 to 10, that opening 30-minute range, as your retest area. And watch this, 9:30 to 10, you're going to see right here. 9:30 to 10, you're going to see right here. Boom. Boom. 9:30 to 10, that low gets broken around like 10:30. So you want to see a pullback into this area here. 9:30 to 10, pullback into. Yeah, pull back into this area here. We haven't pulled back deep enough yet on gold, but do 10 10. Yeah, so you would want to see maybe gold pull back up into this up close candle. But you got this wick. Price did trade back into the wick barely here. 1020, but after 1030, I don't see price retesting that up close candle. Here you have another up close candle close through. So maybe you could say this 10 a.m. candle was your retest zone, but I like to use the 9:30 to 10 exactly. So that 10 a.m. candle I would exclude because it closes at 10:10, 10 minutes later. All right, so there it is. So now you'd be like, all right, we have price pushing back into that area. You see silver already 9:30, 10 o'clock. Yeah, you see silver already offering a drive. So any rejection from these levels, once we can get this level to hit on gold. So no trade. I wouldn't have traded gold so far. Once we break this level here, I'm looking for a pullback. Sets the narrative for today. Pullback. You got a nice rejection here. The reason I wouldn't short it is just because gold hasn't hit the retest yet. I don't like SMT off of certain areas, only off of swing points, right? If we're pushing back into internal, I like to see both levels hit this strike zone here. We're back in that zone here for silver. And then you have gold working its way there now. But yeah, as far as NASDAQ goes, I can't even let this get to me. This is as unorthodox as it's going to get, bro. So lame. And then you might get that reversal after 12. It just dumps lower, and I'm like, wow. But yeah, both charts pretty much. I wouldn't have traded anything here. If anything, you want to look for buys back into this red area here. But over here, I got two short signals. Both got wiped out. And price is truly, truly just refusing to pull back today, which is fine. It'll be all right. Tomorrow, I'll probably bring a lot cleaner price action. Let me screenshot this. Boom, boom, boom. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up for me. Ugly Monday. Ugly Monday. But it is what it is. I guess you're due one of these days eventually. Eventually, they got to get you, right? So, back at it tomorrow. Short here, short there. Tried to buy here, but the buy was an early exit. I want to say I bought it like right here. It's like 2.5 R today. Minus 1 R. And yeah, you can see like I said, like the only thing I noticed, I'm like, where did price give you one hint that it wanted to go higher? It was off of this. And maybe next time, let's see if I had to get some coaching points real quick, let's see, what would I say to myself? Once we confirm this bullishness, maybe just ignore the shorts, which is tough, bro, because I've taken this trade hundreds of times where price overextends. My bad, yeah. So Maybe that's the one thing I'll put in my notes. Just once you get that bias, that bullish bias, maybe don't short more than once. Maybe take your first short and after that, leave it alone. But I really wanted these levels to get hit here, 10 a.m. to be retested. Did not happen, right? Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't even say that, bro. I would just say today wasn't what I would expect to be offered. This was another sign like Nasdaq pretending to be bullish, taking out the high. That was a sign that maybe this isn't bearish. We established Nasdaq was weaker here, and then now Nasdaq gets stronger, takes out highs, pushing towards this higher time frame level. This is trash. Like this move right here in itself is what throws me. Because this was a beautiful sell signal. Price pushes down. That's crazy, bro. And I'm sure this is a fair value gap, but I'm like, who cares if that's a fair value gap? We have a ton of liquidity below. But that's the profile, right? When price is truly bullish, you don't expect deep pullbacks. However, we had just started this move. It was already over. Yeah, I can't be upset with this. Let me erase these levels here so it looks a little bit cleaner. Definitely in higher time frame bearish territory. All right, cool. Yeah, so just clean this up for tomorrow, right? Finish the week on a good note. And let today pass by. 3 trades, 3 losses. I don't know the last time I lost 3 trades in a row, but gotta find a way to shake back tomorrow. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Hopefully you guys did better than me. But as always, just find a way to shake back, manage your risk, and stay positive, right? Boom, boom. This is so trash, bro. So trash. Because I wanted buys. That's the part where I keep looking at this like, where would I have bought this, kid? And I just wouldn't have. Nothing about this would have made me interested. Yeah, that's the one note I'll add here. Bullish. At 10 a.m. Just wait. Just wait for the retrace to bullish POI instead of shorting price back to the POI. Yeah, so I think that's the only note I can add for myself here. I was bullish to a certain extent, right? I wanted to see price either flip immediately, right? Give us quick tap into this 15-minute gap and then run. If that didn't work, I should have waited for price to retest where I wanted it to retest. All hindsight, right? In reality, I'm like, bro, I want to see these retested. Price is pretty far away. Let me just short it back down into it and then potentially buy it back up from there, right? That was the game plan. Price never hits these areas, which throws off my analysis completely. I'm anticipating price to retrace, right? So that's the note for today. Bullish bias was confirmed here with this breakout. And once we got that breakout, just wait for price to hit your area of interest instead of shorting it back to that area of interest. That would have saved me a couple $1,000 today. All right, so that's that. Let me download this. Perfect. Drop this in the chat. And yeah, that's it. I don't even care for whatever happens later. I really just I don't like this profile. And we won't. I doubt if we see this again anytime soon. I haven't seen this in I don't know how many weeks where price, it pretends to be so strong, yet it's not going anywhere for one. And then on top of that, it's not going lower, right? It's like it's just stuck up in this range. It's not going higher, it's not going lower. Typical, I guess, Monday accumulation, but we saw some volume to start the day, so it is what it is. Can't explain every single loss, right? Some losses literally in trading don't make sense. And typically it's just because the market doesn't want to go anywhere. And that's what we get here. 10 a.m. opens, we push higher, hit this level, and decide we're going to stay in this spot for 2.5 hours. All right, so you guys be safe, man. Not terrible, but definitely not what I would expect. And tomorrow I'm back at it. Make up for it. Catch you guys at 9:25. And I'm looking to catch a monster few trades to end this week. All right. Later. God bless. As always, take care.